The national government has sent a contingent to help with relief efforts in Turkey, where tens of thousands have died, including 2 Filipinos, after the major earthquake that hit this week. The Philippines and Japan signed key deals during the visit of President Bongbong Marcos. However, a visiting forces agreement had not been discussed. And some good news for Meralco customers. Expect lower power bills this month. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your weekend. I'm Riza Diaz. 2 Filipinos are confirmed dead, while another is under medical care as the death toll from the earthquake in Turkey and Syria rises. Arian Calumbiran with the details.
Hopes of finding survivors begin to fade as the death toll from the earthquakes that struck Turkey and Syria reaches 21,000. The death toll in Turkey has climbed to 18,000, while the number of deaths recorded in Syria hits 3,000. The death toll across both countries has now surpassed the more than 17,000 killed in 1999 when a similarly powerful earthquake hit northwest Turkey. At least 2 of these deaths are Filipinos, as confirmed by the Philippine Embassy in Turkey. In a tweet, President Bongbong Marcos extended his condolences to the families of the victims who were initially reported missing in Antakya. The embassy says it has evacuated 34 Filipinos together with their spouses and children who are now en route to Ankara. One Filipina, Juliva Benlingan, is meanwhile confined at a hospital after sustaining major injuries from the quake, as confirmed to News 5 by her daughter. Her sister confirmed in a Facebook post that Benlingan was airlifted by Turkish rescuers to a hospital in Adana. In a text to News 5, Benlingan's daughter says her mother is in heavy medication and is currently with her Turkish boyfriend, who has been updating them about her situation. Rescuers are now working against time in harsh winter conditions to dig survivors out of the rubble of collapsed buildings. Satellite images taken by Naxar Technologies showed the extent and damage in Turkish cities caused by the devastating earthquake. Photographs released showed entire blocks of buildings collapsed and lying in ruin. The Filipino contingent sent to assist in disaster relief efforts has been deployed to the Turkish city of Adiyaman.
Ang aming assignment, Ed, ay sa Adiyaman. Ang initial medyo konti pa yung responders doon. May tinatawag kaming urban search and rescue. Meron tayong mga machine katulad sa MMDA. It's like a earphone that we can hear people if there are movements underneath the rubbles. Kahit wala tayong K9 pero we have the technology. Meron tayong mga breaching equipment o kailangan natin tibagin yung mga pader. Meron din tayong mga rope.
The Philippines is also preparing a possible team to take over in the event that recovery efforts take longer than 2 weeks. The Migrant Workers Department, for its part, says it's monitoring 77 affected Filipino workers in Turkey. DMW Undersecretary Hans Kakdak also says that they opened a hotline for families of affected OFWs in the quake-hit country.
Nagbukas tayo na yung hotline, pinaalala natin sa mga pamilya. Ata si Secretary Toots na magkaroon ng task force, kaya meron tayong 24/7 task force.
Arian Calumbiran, We Are One News.
In other news, after 3 months of consecutive increases, Meralco will reduce its power rate this month. Household consuming 200 kilowatt hours will be able to save around 2 pesos in their electric bills. The power distributor said that the price cut is due to overall lower generation charges, which offset the impact of its mandated refund to customers. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Philippines and Japan skipped talks on a possible visiting forces agreement, but the Philippine delegation managed to seal 7 agreements during their trip. Mon Gualvez has the report.
President Bongbong Marcos and Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida treats their first ever bilateral meeting in Tokyo as a historical breakthrough. That's because it coincided with the 50th anniversary of Japan-ASEAN friendship and cooperation. 7 agreements have been signed between the two nations.
President Marcos's visit to Japan gives us a renewed momentum for our two nations to further upgrade our bilateral partnerships we have seen in many areas over the recent years to an even higher dimension, and for us to make further contributions to the peace and stability of the region and the world.
The future of our relationship remains full of promise as we continue to deepen and expand our engagements across a wide range of mutually beneficial cooperation.
4 of the agreements are for the North-South Commuter Railway Extension Project, where 2 are loan agreements for the said project. They also signed an umbrella term of reference for a possible humanitarian assistance and disaster relief cooperation of the two nations, and memoranda of cooperation in the sectors of agriculture and information and communications technology. DFA Secretary Enrique Manalo, Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno, and Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban signed the contracts on behalf of the Philippines. Security has also been discussed, although there were no talks of a possible Visiting Forces Agreement or VFA between the Philippines and Japan.
I explained to the President such matters as Japan's national security strategy, and the President welcomed Japan's commitment to the free and open international order based on rules.
The Prime Minister and I have agreed to cooperate even more closely in areas of economic cooperation, security and defense cooperation, maritime security and safety, healthcare mechanisms, environmental commitments, and people-to-people exchanges.
The President earlier mentioned he's willing to discuss VFA if it will be brought up during the bilateral meeting. The President also sat on a roundtable meeting along with top executives of semiconductor, electronics, and wiring harness companies in Tokyo. The Philippine delegation was able to secure investment pledges that could create more than 10,000 jobs in the Philippines. Meanwhile, in the roundtable meeting with tourism stakeholders, the President highlighted how despite the pandemic, Japan was 4th in tourist arrivals in the Philippines.
But more than just being a major economic driver, we see the tourism industry to be a great pillar that fosters a deep love and pride of our country.
Japan is the only country that has a bilateral free trade agreement or FTA with the Philippines, the Philippine-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement or PJEPA. In 2021, Japan was the 2nd biggest trading partner of the country. President Marcos and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos paid a courtesy visit to Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako in Imperial Palace. This ended with the President inviting the Emperor to visit the Philippines as well. Today, the President will be attending more meetings with businessmen to help boost investment pledges for the Philippines. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
The Ginebra Gin Kings remain undefeated in the PBA Governors Cup after beating Northport of Batang Pier on Friday. Ginebra started off slow as it reels from the absence of cagers Japet Aguilar and Christian Stan Hardinger. But Gin Kings' Jamie Malonzo stepped up, scoring career-high 28 points in the match. This, along with Justin Brownlee's triple-double, spoiled the return of Northport star Robert Bolick. Ginebra held on to the lead from second quarter up until the end of the game, outplaying Northport 115 to 110. Meanwhile, Magnolia Hotshots finally get their first win of the season after a stunning victory against Phoenix Super LPG. Hotshots import Antonio Hester popped off with 28 points, boosting the rest of his team. Jenica Hamisi scored all of his 12 points from 3-pointers in a 29-9 run in the second quarter. The Hotshots controlled the rest of the game and ended it with a 13-point lead against Phoenix, 108-95. Now, the hard court action continues today. Terrafirma Jeep will face off with TNT Tropang Giga at 4:30 in the afternoon. And San Miguel Beermen and Converge Fiber Xers will battle it out right after at 6:45. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.